Hey friends, we're starting a new week, the last week of the January Pantry Challenge. Today is Sunday, we only have to go until Wednesday. So come on down to the countertop and see what I've got going on today. I didn't realize how much we really eat until I started filming every meal every single day. This is all that was left over from last night's rice and burrito bowl contents. I'm going to cut that in half and I'm going to have that for my lunch. I'll probably take a little less than half. Okay, the microwave did wonders with this. The cheese is beautifully melted. I'm just going to put some of my sour cream or yogurt or whatever you want to call it, and a healthy serving of oh, come on, out of the jar. A healthy serving of my salsa to add some vegetables to it. And that is my lunch. I'll have a glass of milk with that. Today I'm using my crock pot to do some chicken leg quarters. These are harvested from my own chickens in 2023. You can see just the tiniest bit of blue there on the leg. This was my Canadian breast roosters. I also have these jars of curry that we haven't been using. Curry and chicken together? Why not? These are all just half pint size. I have 6 of them. Let's see how many I need to cover these chicken leg quarters in this crock pot. These have been in the fridge to defrost overnight, but there is still some ice built up on them. They're better than completely frozen though. After I harvested these, I soaked them in brine for 3 days to help soften them and get the rigor mortis out of them and all of that. And there's plenty of salt in that flesh, so I don't need to add salt. And that's exactly the reason why I don't put salt in my canned goods, because it varies what you're using as the base. If it was a can of beans, I would need salt. If it was a package of store-bought chicken, it would need salt. If it was sausages, I wouldn't want salt. And this chicken that I brined, I don't want more salt. So all of my canned goods have no salt. I am, however, going to add some pepper. Okay, so there's the green tomato curry. As I've mentioned before, it is green tomatoes at the end of the gardening season, and onions, and seasoning, and that's it. I've opened 3 of these half pints. Let's see how far that goes. Okay, this is jar number 3. What do I think? Is that enough to cover these 4 chicken legs? I know once that starts to warm, it will all drop down inside of that crock. I'm going to throw in another jar. We have lots. I might as well use it. It is currently 11:30. This should have been on a while ago if I wanted to get it, if I wanted it to cook on low. So I'm going to have to put it on high for a couple of hours to make sure everything gets started and heated really well. And I'll watch it and probably turn it down in a couple of hours so that it cooks slower. I need to get the whole thing heated up first though, so at least an hour on high, and then I'll turn it down. We know that this chicken is a bit tough. I waited a little bit too long to harvest them at 15, 16 weeks. They should have been done between 12 and 14. So they're a little bit tough, but the brining would help soften them, and cooking in a crock pot low and slow will help them. So let's hope that putting them on high right now is not going to toughen it up. I'm ready to go. I'll deal with what the consequences are. We still have an hour and 20 minutes or so before dinner, and this is very liquidy. I didn't know what to do with it. We've had so much rice lately, and I just wondered, you know, what can we do? This is actually falling apart. Dan came up with the idea. What if, I'm going to try something here. Dan suggested pulling the meat off of the bones and just putting the meat and rice right back in the pot and letting the rice cook right in the crock pot. So that's what I'm doing. I think that sounds like a great idea. And we can put broccoli on the side. This would be fantastic with naan bread. but I'm not doing that today. Okay, so there we go. I've taken the meat off of the bone, and the 4 leg quarters we put in there, and now I'm going to have a chicken and curry in broth. Let's throw some rice in that, and I think that'll be dinner. In order to determine how much rice to put in there, I should kind of estimate how much liquid is in there. So if I could get the chicken and tomatoes to one side, if that's 2 cups, it's only that deep. So if that's 2 cups of liquid, I'm going to put in 1 cup of rice. Okay, just about a cup of rice. If necessary, I can throw in another jar of curry sauce at the end just to make it more saucy. I had a taste of the chicken while it was out. Let's have another taste and see if I need to put any, just gonna have a little tiny taste, and see if I need to put more salt in it. It's perfect, except chomping down on raw rice. I'm not feeling particularly hungry tonight. I've been nibbling a little bit, but there we have broccoli, and the rice worked perfectly in that sauce. So chicken and rice and curry sauce. Well, I'm out of fresh bananas this morning. I have to use some frozen. I always use frozen mangoes. That means this is going to be extra cold this morning. I was kind of thinking of having a mango and blueberry smoothie, but my husband's out of his blueberries too. It's a good thing today's the 30th of January. This challenge is almost over, and we have a trip planned out tomorrow because it's my husband's birthday tomorrow. Because this is all frozen, I'm going to use my almond milk at room temperature. I'm using L-glutamine, which is good for muscle development, muscle tone. I've felt this year I've aged a lot and my muscle tone has gone down, so I've got to work on maintaining and restoring. And collagen, I have some gut health issues, so collagen is to help with my gut health, and what the heck, it's good for muscle and joint and skin as well. And with me feeling the aging so much recently, that's helping, and it really is helping my gut health. Alright, that's my smoothie. Oh, this morning I'm not putting fiber in it. Normally I put ground flax meal in it as well. With all that frozen fruit in there this morning, this is more like a milkshake instead of a smoothie. Hey friends, it's Monday night and I'm throwing together a quick dinner. Back in November, I did some marinated meat and I put it in the freezer. So this one is a soy sauce chicken, which is going to be perfect for a stir fry. I'm going to have that with a rice noodle. Come on down to the stovetop while I do my quick stir fry. This morning, I'm making a double batch of granola. I'm not going to give you the details on how to make this recipe. I have a video that I did a few months back. I will link it in the card above or in the description below. Oh, look at this. So I'm crushing my pecans, and I saw a smooth section. Well, that's a big chunk of shell. You wouldn't want to chomp down on that while you're eating your breakfast. I'm going to have to look at these a little more carefully. That would be brutal. I have my oats measured. I have my pecans measured. Next comes honey or maple syrup. I'm going to work with maple syrup because I have that in quantity right now. That'll do. This recipe calls for honey or maple syrup and then brown sugar, but you can omit the brown sugar if you like. Okay, I have my granola ingredients, the dry ingredients together here. Oh, I can put the nuts in right now as well. The instructions are on the other video. I will link above and I will link below in the description. Do you ever drop by the description of a video to see what's going on down there? sometimes you'll find some funny things, sometimes you'll get some interesting pointers that you might have missed in the video, or all kinds of things. I love looking at the description. A lot of channels have links to their stores down there. I haven't set that up yet, but that's a great way to support our channel and help us to continue bringing content. I'm preheating the oven to 275. I'm stirring all that liquid into the oats. I'm stirring all of the liquid into the dry goods. We're just going to mix that up as, you know, pretty thoroughly. I have a big chunk of coconut oil there. Let's move that around. Last night I was filming dinner video. I took a pause to move the camera, and I wiped my glasses with a lens cleaning cloth, and the frame of my glasses broke. Not on the nose or not on the arm, or, you know, somewhere that was easy to fix. Right across the middle of the lens, the frame broke. And it's a little tiny wire metal frame. And it took us 2 hours to sort that out. And by then dinner was, you know, it was getting on 8 o'clock. I was supposed to be doing a live stream last night. Well, I canceled the live stream. My husband fixed my glasses because I couldn't see. My vision is at the point where I cannot see anything. My vision is at the point where I can't see anything clearly without my glasses on. I have both near vision and far vision that I need to work with. Yes, I wear bifocals, and I'm only 55. I've been wearing them for about 5 years. It took until this morning for the glue we used, E6000, to set up on the glasses, and I was wearing cheaters, and it was not good. So this morning I'm wearing my regular glasses with a big glob of tape on them, and it'll be a couple of weeks before I show my face on the camera again. This is a reality, right? And you know, we've been talking about getting in for an eye exam, and yesterday I actually called an optometrist to make an appointment, but we can't get in till next week anyway, so I'm just gonna have to book an appointment, and I'm just gonna have to wait. I'm gonna put this on 2 trays because it is a double batch. I'm preheating my oven to 275. And there it is right now. Perfect timing. How is that? I'm going to bake this for 15 minutes and open it up and stir it and bake it for 15 more minutes, and we'll do that for a total of 45 or 60 minutes. We'll look at it at 45 and see if it's toasted enough, or go a little longer if we have to. So there's a pile of dirty dishes already this morning. Perfect. Look how lovely toasty that is now, and it's definitely dry. With all that liquid that I poured in there, you wanted to make sure that it was dry because it won't keep if it's got any moisture in it. Yep, I missed a step on this batch. That was supposed to have a cup of coconut and a cup of dried fruit per batch. These are dried apples. Sometimes I don't like to put the raisins in the oven because they almost burn. So I'm going to stir this in, and now I'm just going to let that sit to cool before I put it in bottles. I love raisins. It's one of those things, you love it or you hate it. This is the last night of the January Pantry Challenge that we will be having dinner at home. With Dan's birthday, we will be out tomorrow. Happy birthday, Dan!
I'm more mature now. Okay. Bye, camera.
So he's fixing us breakfast for dinner, and there are the hash brown O'Briens, there will be some sausages, and there will be some fried eggs. My sweet husband fixed my dinner. There we go. Doesn't that look amazing? sausage and hash browns, the potato O'Brien, with eggs over easy with smoked Gouda slice on top. And a dog sniffing to see what she can have.
I think it's Havarti actually.
Smoked Havarti?
Yes.
Yum. That's what's for dinner. Since today's the last day of the January Pantry Challenge at our house, I thought it would be interesting to look at how many jars we actually went through. I have counted these all up. We have 43 jars we've used. We have all these jars of curry. And back there we have all the jars of tomato vegetable soup and stewed tomatoes. Over here we have the chicken broth, the potatoes, the tomato sauce, and all those other jars we've used up. Here in the front I have the jars that we used that had pickles in them, and I've got some more in the fridge, so there are some lids missing, there are some jars missing, but we've rotated through all of that. I'm really impressed. We went through over 40 jars in a month. That was concentrated effort. We don't always use that many, so this is really impressive to me. For a family of 2, over 40 jars is awesome. One of the things that helped me partway through the challenge was pulling out the jars I needed to work on. So I pulled out these jars. This case was full, this case was full. This was entirely the curry that we've been using. Oh, and there's a jar of charred salsa in there as well. The rest of it was all curry. And this has been tomato sauce and pickles and tomato juice and tomato paste and salsa and other things I wanted to move along. This is just a quick glimpse into the freezer. Now, there on the bottom I have cottage roll that I bought during the January Pantry Challenge because they were on special, but I've used up a big package of broccoli, I've used up a bunch of the potatoes O'Brien, I've used up apples and apple crisp fillings out of there, and we've taken some chicken bones and chicken food out of there. So this is making progress as well. Now to the other freezer. At the beginning of the January Pantry Challenge, this freezer was so full that we couldn't even close it. Like, we couldn't put a slice of bread in there, it was so full. So now I have room that I can go buy some groceries if I choose to and fill that up. And actually today, because we're going into the city, we're going to Costco, I have room to get some bargain meat prices. We're going to go to Walmart too. I should look at the flyer and see what Walmart's got on special. That's better. If I wanted to make a bunch of bread now, I could fit bread in my freezer. If I wanted to make a bunch of freezer meals, now I can. At the beginning of the January Pantry Challenge, I showed you some of these shelves and how there were a few gaps on there, but they're bigger now. And we've gone through all of those crackers, and we've gone through many of the canned goods. I know that I am completely out of stewed tomatoes today, and I have to fix that. But like I said, we're going to Walmart and to Costco so I can buy a case of canned tomatoes. While it may not look like I've taken much off of these pantry shelves, we did see those 40 plus jars on the kitchen table that shows where these gaps came from. I do have double layers of things in here, so that has reduced some. And there are some things to be moved around and relocated, but we've made great progress. I'm not going to go into my baking pantry because it doesn't look like anything has been affected in there, but we know I used cake mixes and I used cookie mixes and I used biscuit mix, and I did all kinds of projects out of that pantry. So that's it. It's the end of the January Pantry Challenge. You've had a pantry tour, and we're heading out to the city for my husband's birthday lunch. Look at those empty holes on that shelf. It means I've been feeding my family. All of that work has done its job. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. Remember to hit that share button and like and subscribe, and help YouTube see us just a little bit more. Dropping a comment helps YouTube to recognize that people are interacting with us and they're liking what we're doing. See you next time.